Throughout the 1980s, the Hobart Statesmen dominated Division III men's lacrosse. 12 straight national championships, a dynasty was formed. Now a new team has taken over the D3 ranks, the Salisbury Seagulls. 3 straight NCAA titles with a 4-peat in sight. It's a new dynasty rising, the Seagulls believe so. In the way, the Cortland Red Dragons making their first trip to the NCAA title game since 1981, but this time they don't plan on leaving empty-handed. Will the Salisbury dynasty be formed, or is it time to crown a new champion? The answer is next. The city of Philadelphia has been transformed into the Mecca for men's college lacrosse. Division III finalists Salisbury and Cortland have arrived to play for a national championship. Hello everyone, I'm Jason Chandler, glad to be with you this afternoon. Well, this is the game that every college lacrosse player dreams about playing in, playing for a national title. Let's take a look at the brackets now to see just how Salisbury and Cortland advanced. Both were tested, both escaped with overtime victories, 7-6 for Cortland and 13-12 for Salisbury. I'm joined as always by Paul Carcaterra. We'll hear from Eric Freed in just a moment. Paul, this is a very competitive matchup.
Yes, indeed. And Salisbury has the playoff experience, gunning for a 4th straight national title. Cortland, on the other hand, has the senior leadership to put an end to this run. Both teams love to get up and down the field, so expect a lot of scoring in this matchup. Well,
let's start first with Cortland. They're led offensively by a player with Division I talent.
Division I talent, Mike Abbott, for sure. A Virginia transfer, won the national title in 2003. He's a midfielder who does it his own way. He separates from the defense, he faces off, and if you don't watch him from outside, he'll kill you with his lethal outside shot. He's a dandy.
Now, for Salisbury, the national championship game has become basically a foregone conclusion. They've won the last 3. They're going for the 4-peat. We look at the numbers, and they're very impressive. They've won 69 straight games. That's the 5th best in NCAA history, regardless of sport, regardless of division.
And the best in lacrosse history, the 69 straights, regardless of division. And Salisbury has a distinct style. They really press defensively. They do a great job of extending on the defense, starting their transition game with their defensive midfield, and their offense clicks on all cylinders.
Well, the head coach for Salisbury is Jim Berkman. He's won 91% of his games. He's never lost a conference game. Let's take a look at their lineup.
They have the fantastic finisher in Dan Boyer. 69 goals, a tremendous inside player. On the midfield, look for Jimmy Creighton. He scored the tying and winning goal last year in the Salisbury game. And on defense, it's been DeMunda, who's been steady all season long. And in goal, look at the goaltender, Zarchin. This is his first year as a Salisbury starter. He has big shoes to fill, but he will do a great job for the Seagulls today.
For Cortland, their head coach is Rich Barnes, still technically the interim head coach. Let's take a look at their lineup.
What an outstanding job Coach Barnes has done. And on offense, Kyle Lambert, 40-plus goals. He's a great attackman in Mike Abbott we spoke about, but Matt O'Connell, he's the conference player of the year. And on defense, you can't forget about Schmidt, Lemon, and Doherty, all great team defenders. And in goal, a little bit inconsistent last year for Ben Gable, but his senior year, he's playing his best lacrosse. When it matters most, he will be tested early and often for the Red Dragons.
Salisbury's won 3 in a row. Today they go for the 4-peat. Can Cortland stop the streak? We face off and find out after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Philadelphia, the Division III National Championship game. Cortland against Salisbury. Jason Chandler, Paul Carcaterra joining you up in the booth. Let's visit now with Eric Freed, our man on the sidelines, featured in a brand new angle. Eric.
I'll say, Jason, thanks very much. Part of my role here today will be telling some stories, but our role here at CSTV is to take you inside the game. And right now I'm standing inside the substitution area. This little 6-yard by 10-yard box is going to be a beehive of activity all day long today. And from this angle, you'll see all the comings and goings to substitutions. What will happen with the penalties as we go along today? This could be a very key area. I'll step out and we'll play.
Well, for Cortland, they haven't been on this stage since 1981, and Ben Gable, he was a little inconsistent last year. He needs to play huge today. Salisbury dictate tempo, run and gun, start on the defensive end, and that new look defense, replacing the starting goalie and 2 of their best defenders from a year ago.
Take a look now. Ryan Abbott, David Sloan, Tom Holman, Dave Seidman. They will all be mic'd, so you'll hear them down below, Paul and I. And whenever they make a call, it's time now for the Division III National Championship game. We're underway on College Sports Television, part of wall-to-wall championship lacrosse coverage here on CSTV. The first possession will go to the Cortland Red Dragons. Both of these teams, Paul, like to get up and down.
Love the run and gun, and it starts for Cortland with number 11. We featured him in the open. Mike Abbott, he faces off. He plays the offense and defensive end. He's key in transition for them as well.
Heath right now with possession of the ball, drives towards the net, elects to bring it back to the end line.
I think a quick start really is important for the Red Dragons. They haven't been here before. They can't let Salisbury dictate tempo and press defensively. They need to get a couple quick early goals to get those jitters out.
They swing behind the net.
Keep it in! Keep it in!
A nice long sustained possession here for the Red Dragons.
You hear the ref calling to keep it in. It's a stall warning already for the Red Dragons.
Centering, pass, shot and a score. Cortland's on the board first. It's Ryan Semensky. He scored the game winner in the semis, picks up right where he left off, gets the first tally of the afternoon. 1-0 Red Dragons.
Big goal for Semensky. Great cut. You see that angle. Finishes the ball from the crease. Outstanding one-timer right there. You see the look there. It starts with Felice with an outstanding feed to Semensky. And when we spoke, Jason, to Coach Barnes earlier in the week, he really touched on how they want to really settle the ball when they don't have that transition opportunity and run their offense. And they did an outstanding job on that last possession of really picking their spot.
And something else he said, first 7 minutes. They want to come out the first 7 minutes, weather the Salisbury storm. They don't want to come out flat against the favored Salisbury team. Great way to start for Cortland.
Coach Barnes, you couldn't draw it up any better. You win that opening face-off. Everyone gets that first touch offensively, which is huge. You want to touch the ball as an offensive player with a big crowd like this and the atmosphere. Really get into the game, and then to chew a couple minutes off and have that beautiful play.
Behind the net, Cortland with possession. You know, it's interesting, they said, only look in the stands once. Coach Barnes said, only look in the stands once. Other than that, you can't look up at this big crowd here at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. I think the jitters have probably gone away for Cortland. They have possession of the ball right now, looking for more after getting the first goal of the game. Well, you can get complete coverage of all the NCAA championships at ncaasports.com, the official site of NCAA Sports.
When we talk about the field and the crowd, it's hard for these guys to ignore the 25,000 plus fans in attendance here today.
Nice catch behind the net by Felice, the man who assisted on the first goal. He's checked by Demunda to the net, shoots wide. Rolling to the corner, it won't go out of bounds. It's scooped up by Salisbury. They have possession. J.B. Sheridan, the ground ball, gets it to the goaltender Zarchin, who lost it momentarily inside that protective crease. Now Salisbury will attempt to clear and get their first offensive possession.
That last offensive touch, Felice wanted to start that roll 1 or 2 steps further so he can roll and come out with a better angle. The farther up you go, the better your angle will be as you come out of the roll. He made that roll a little bit too close into that goal line extended area. Started a little higher, come out with a better angle.
Salisbury's first look on they score almost 16 goals a game, so they know how to put it in the back of the net, Paul.
So talented offensively. You know, they lost a lot of great players from a year ago, but Coach Berkman thinks these guys really complement themselves and each other so well because each guy has that role on the offense.
Casey Doherty thundering away for Cortland on defense. Salisbury somehow manages to get it back. Now they throw it away towards midfield. We'll have a collision. Who comes free? It's Cortland for the moment. Out of bounds. The officials send it back Salisbury's way, and we have an injured player for Salisbury. It's Mike Hurley. Hurley on the ground. Let's take a look here at what happened.
Well, first you have the roll by Felice. You see, if he started that angle a little bit farther up, he could have had a better angle to score. And Hurley, their best all-around midfielder, goes down. It looks like he's holding his knee. Hurley, what an outstanding senior year. 43 goals, 20-plus assists. You really hate to see that in a championship game for a senior.
Looked like he might have got whacked by sticks straight on that knee. Hopefully nothing more serious than that.
When a player holds their knee, you hope it's a whack and not a twist. A lot of times when it's a whack, you throw some ice on there, you loosen it up, you're good to go. When it's a twist, sometimes you're talking about an injury that could be a little bit more extensive.
You mentioned how great Hurley's been playing. His coach said he had a first-team All-American type year. When he touches the ball, says Coach Berkman, great things happen. So if you're a Salisbury fan, you're hoping he gets back out onto the field.
A lot like Justin Smith last year, the first-team All-American and Division III midfielder of the year. He really started that offense, and all eyes were on number 7 last year. All eyes are on 17 this year.
Played in all 20 games this season. As we look again at the collision at midfield, does appear he just got a stick to the knee, and promptly Salisbury throws it away. It's interesting, Paul, Cortland was worried about coming out flat and a little rattled. I think right now the Seagulls appear to be a little rattled here, playing in their 4th straight national championship game.
You know, they're playing in a 4th straight national title, Jason. But a lot of guys from those past 3 championship games have gone. We mentioned Justin Smith and Chris Phillips out for academic reasons. And defensive players like Jeff Biggis and Sean White. Those were guys who were part of that 3-peat. Huge pieces of the puzzle. They're asking younger guys to really step up who haven't played on this stage, have been on the team, but haven't really been on the field.
So Cortland has possession now on offense, leading by 1. Ryan Semensky, the lone goal of the game. Mike Felice, the assist, and Semensky is knocked to the ground. Here comes Salisbury back the other way. Big hit on the play by Luis Gonzalez.
We talk about their pressure D. This has been huge for Salisbury over the last few years, really pressing defensively. You can't forget about that offense that leads into the press.
And the offense strikes right back. Salisbury is tied it at 1. Matt Dassinger finds the back of the net, and we're all square in the D3 National Championship game.
Dassinger gets a great individual effort here, has an opportunity. Looked like Cortland got held up in the pick right there, and he just fires it to the stick side of Gable. Great placement to that far pike. Dassinger really letting it go, but credit Luis Gonzalez. Saw the pressure D. He really is the big reason for that goal there. He pressed out, made a great individual effort, brought the ball in the offensive end for Dassinger.
And Gonzalez, who wears the number 10, one of his coach's favorites. He plays with a short stick, but his coach says he plays like a 5th long pole. We saw that. Now we see Salisbury back on offense again. And those jitters that they may have had to start the game are certainly gone now after the big hit by Gonzalez and the goal by Dassinger.
Get that first goal under your belt, calm the team down, then you're playing championship lacrosse.
True for both teams. They've each notched their first goal. They've been out there for a couple of minutes now. Now they're just playing lacrosse. And a nice save by Gable went down to get that one. The big fella getting low. Another shot, another save by Gable. It's Dassinger again. And Gable able to corral the rebound. Here comes Cortland in transition. Cortland offense gets set up. Ryan Heath will take it back behind the net. Looks like Cortland will play the slowdown here so far this afternoon.
Going to pick their spots here, the Red Dragons. Those 2 saves by Gable, outstanding. Were both low shots. Really had to work for those saves. Played his angles beautifully.
Cortland spins it up to the top of the box. Matt O'Connell starts and stops, retreats from the pressure. Content to dance around here for just a little bit. Falls to the ground, keeps possession now, ball knocked out of his stick. Loose and scooped up. Here comes Salisbury. Zach Hopkins, pass in front, the extra pass. And Cortland's defense collapses. Flag comes out, Big scrum in front of the net. Salisbury did not get a shot off there. The penalty will be on Cortland. But Paul, a great opportunity here for Salisbury.
31-4.
Looked like a hold there. They're calling the hold. Brian Dilley, the defenseman for Cortland. Take a look at that box, an incredible angle. So much of lacrosse starts in this box, especially on a championship stage when the substitutions and the offsides, everything runs through that box.
Championships have been won and lost in that area.
Yesterday in that semifinal game, Coach Canella and his staff did an impeccable job of running their box.
So Salisbury on the man advantage for the next 30 seconds here. Chance to take the lead for the defending champs. They spin around the perimeter. Quick, crisp passing, a hallmark of this Salisbury Seagull team.
When you have a fantastic finisher like Boyle, you see Boyer in the middle right there, number 4. You give the outside shooting opportunities because everyone's worried about the inside.
Cortland back at full strength now. And Salisbury did not get a shot in that man advantage opportunity. They're scoring on 36% of their man ups. Didn't get a shot there.
36%, that's about average. That's where you want to be. You don't want to really dip below that.
Creighton tries to back his man in, senses the double. Holding, moving up top. Here's Edwards, a junior from Baltimore. He'll back it to the top of the box. Checked loosely on the play. Shaney Raymond defending for Cortland. Now it's Kevin Mitchell. Ball swung behind the net. Good possession here for Salisbury's. We're under 7 minutes in the first quarter, and a good graphic there below about the defense for Cortland.
Stingy as can be, 6 goals a game. And a lot of that can be attributed to the team defensive approach they take and the man in between the pipes.
Good opportunity for Salisbury. Whistles wide. Edwards, a left-handed delivery from the left wing. Didn't get it on Cage. Backed up by the goals. They'll keep it.
Very rarely do you see Salisbury being called to keep it in the box. Being called for a stall. Both teams, we've seen that in the early action.
Push on Cortland, keeps it with Cortland, keeps it with Salisbury rather.
Get a look at Ben Gable right there. A big physical presence for Cortland. His quickness and his hand movement deceiving because of his size. He's really quick to that first step.
Kyler Berkman centering pass. The coach's son. The shot was saved from point-blank range. Berkman wears number 6, plays on the second line midfield, and leads the team in assists. And there's Berkman scooping up a ground ball, tiptoes the center line, launches it towards midfield into no man's land. Who will come down with it? It's Salisbury back on offense. Although not the Salisbury team I think we expected, as they're taking their time here. And they'll take a timeout to talk things over, so we will take the timeout as well. D3 National Championship game, all tied at 1, first quarter. Welcome back, everyone. Cortland Salisbury 1-1 in the first quarter, and this is how Cortland advanced.
They had a tough semifinal matchup with Wesleyan. You take a look right there, Mike Abbott, the dodge. Then the overtime goal by Ryan Szymanski, the junior midfielder, propelling his team for a shot at Philly.
A look at the Cortland bench. You see their road to Philadelphia. 16-7 win over Stevens Institute. A big game for Felice in that one. Lambert had a nice performance against Middlebury, and Szymanski, the hero against Wesleyan, also has the lone goal of the game. The Cortland Red Dragons here this afternoon. Cortland will start out after the timeout on defense. Salisbury on offense. They talk things over. They call the timeout.
I like that timeout by Coach Berkman. His team was playing a little sloppy, the game as a whole, and a lot of turnovers. Get the composure back in your team. Realize what you're capable of doing. Design a play.
Ball loose in the ground, scooped up by Cortland. Having trouble clearing. Loose at midfield. Fought more by a host of players. And another loose ball push on Cortland sends it back in Salisbury's direction. Seagulls on the restart. Tyler Berkman senses the double, splits it, stripped. Again, Cortland comes away. Again, the offense of Salisbury playing good defense.
Really pressuring in the ride. You know, they're turning the ball over, but they're getting it back because of their tenacious ride.
This Salisbury team really goes hard, end to end. And you're right, they've been a little sloppy on offense, but it hasn't hurt them because their offensive players have been so great on the ride and getting the ball right back. Cortland hasn't been able to clear it.
If you're Cortland, you can't give a great team like Salisbury chance after chance.
Drive to the net, shot wide. Dassinger issued the shot. And it's going to be Cortland ball. And let's once again visit with Eric Freed.
Jason, thanks very much. I'd say Cortland has weathered that storm you talked about. We've got 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They've got a lot of energy here on the sideline. I saw Coach Barnes before the game. He thought the team was very loose and very ready to play today. On the other side, Salisbury thought that would be their advantage. They've been in this sort of theater before. They know how everything goes here on championship weekend, but I think you guys are right. Just getting the pulse down here. Salisbury seems a team to be a little tight at this moment, and Cortland playing loose and free.
Great point, Eric.
Cortland, nice save by Zarchin as Cortland got a shot off instantly. Szymanski has been great this afternoon.
So much of the poise really comes from that head coach and Coach Berkman and Coach Barnes. Outstanding coaches. Berkman has that playoff experience in the national titles. But Coach Barnes, the best goaltender in Cortland history. Take a look at him right there. Played in the collegiate ranks and was a top goaltender for Cortland. But outside of college, when he played post-collegiately, one of the best goalies in America.
Wraparound shot and a score! Mike Felice already had an assist. Now he has a goal, and Cortland has a 2-1 lead.
Felice notching his 30th of the season. Having an outstanding year. You see Felice there. He takes that extra step. Good distribution of the ball. Felice takes that extra step. He knows he might get a pounding. Right here, he just throws it low too. Great job when you're coming around that pipe. You have the goaltender high already. Stick it at the ankles. Felice did just that.
Adam Hyde notches the assist. His second on the season for the sophomore. Salisbury wins the ensuing faceoff. Ryan DeRose winning the draw. Big guy, 5'11", 195. Gets the draw and gets possession right back to Salisbury as they attempt to even this game up. Dassinger up top, scores! Matt Dassinger, number 2 on the afternoon. The Seagulls fire right back. We're square at 2.
Very interesting to see how Salisbury takes advantage of those outside shooting opportunities, because you see the screen right here. So much attention is in the man in the middle, Boyer. They don't want to leave him open. That's going to open up all of the outside opportunities. If Salisbury can take advantage of that, they'll have a great opportunity to win this game. And Gassinger, nice, hard, righty rip. Great mechanics on that shot. You see, stick started high. Really turned his hips and let it fly.
His coach said he's been hot and cold this season. He started out hot here this afternoon. Can't ask for a better time. Cortland got the shot, they got the rebound, and they get the goal. Great effort offensively by the Cortland Red Dragons. And they take the lead. Brian Atkins the finish. It's 3-2. The Red Dragons come right back. The feed from Lambert.
Zarchin steps up here with a great save. He has no clue where the ball is. What that does is it puts him out of position. And he's fighting to get back to that far pipe. And Cortland throws the ball just where they need to right here. You see, he fights to get to that far pipe. And he's beat off stick. Great placement on the shot right there. Outstanding finish for Atkins right there, 15th of the season.
A lot of credit needs to go to Kyle Lambert, scooping up the ground ball, making the pass. Lambert, who wears the number 13, captain the school's all-time leading goals leader with 163 and a big assist in the national championship game.
By Zarchin not knowing where he was, he had a fight to get back to the far pipe. And Atkins put it right where he needed to, that far pipe.
Heath directly behind the net. Skips a pass.
You know, for Cortland to be in this game in the early stages is huge because it gives them the confidence. They haven't played in front of crowds like this when the stakes have been so high.
They throw it away right there. Here's Salisbury in transition. Oh, what a great save by Gable. He kicked it away. It's loose in front. Another shot is deflected before it gets to the net. Here comes Cortland right back the other way. Big Ben Gable with a big save. Cortland in transition, unsettled situation here for the Red Dragons. Centering pass knocked straight into the air and scooped up by Zarchin.
Minsky had him at first. He waited just a second or two too long. And by that time, the Salisbury defense did a great job of recovering and protecting the inside. But give credit to Gable on that last save. But the move by Eric Bishop was incredible. He had the defense fighting, brought that stick in front. One-on-one, Gable stuffed him.
Salisbury back again. It's Creighton on the left wing with a left-handed cradle. The Seagulls quickly spin it to the opposite side, and Rohde, his first touch of the game. Ryan Rohde having a breakout senior season, 47 goals on the year.
And it took Rohde a while to get accustomed to playing at this level. He was a huge recruit for Coach Bergman, but his senior year has been special.
And it's even more special now as he nets a goal in the national championship game with just 55 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Ryan Rohde for Salisbury.
Rohde, not a big impact player, freshman, sophomore, and junior year, but his senior season, he's saving his best for last. Comes off that pick, you see there. Comes inside, great catch in traffic, and throws it to the far pipe. You have Gable, a righty goaltender. That's where you want to put it. Blowing away on the left. Great shot by Rohde.
To the face-off X we go. Procedure call. Gives the ball to Salisbury. Under a minute to go here. First quarter national championship game for Division III on CSTV. Seagulls can slow the tempo here. Work for the final shot if they so choose. They are a run and gun style team, so they're not afraid to take it to the net in this situation. 30 seconds to go. It's Mike Edwards. Goal line extended, now directly behind the net. They'll circle to the right. We're at 15 seconds to go. Gassinger, deep left wing. Down to 10 seconds. Salisbury has to hurry. Gassinger needs to shoot, goes by his man, falls to the ground, bounces one over the net, not out of bounds as the clock hits 0. Actually, 0.3 left. They got a goal. Does it count? I don't think so. There was some confusion at the end there. No goal. And that's the way an exciting first quarter of action will end.
44.
Salisbury a goal after the whistle. The clock hits 0 in the first quarter. Cortland not blinking in this national championship game. Salisbury, Cortland tied at 3.
How much time? 1 minute. 1 minute still.
Welcome back, everyone. Jason Chandler, Paul Carcaterra on Memorial Day weekend. A great time for families to get together. Let's visit with Eric Freed now with a family story for Salisbury.
Well, every day is a family get-together for the Berkmans. Kyler Berkman's a freshman for the Salisbury team. They just have their get-togethers during games and during practices. For Kyler, this is special. He's playing in a championship game, and when we asked his father, the head coach, what would be the special part about winning a championship here, he said, doing it with my son. The fact that they would win a national championship and be able to hold that trophy together, father and son, would make this championship that much more special. 1 quarter down, long way to go, fellas.
Eric, what a special season Kyler Berkman's had. As a freshman, he leads the team in assists, so he's an impact player for his coach and his father.
Leads the team in assists as a member of the second midfield. Also, his father said he's earned everyone's respect on the team because he came in and all of the physical conditioning, all the drills they do, he places near the top in everything, all those tests that the team has to go to. So he's not just out there because he's the coach's son, he's out there because he's one of the best players in the team.
To lead the team in assists, not only as a freshman, not only as a midfielder, but on the second midfield is incredible.
Shot whistling wide for
Back by the
Cortland.
sideline. Bring it back, bring it
You
back.
normally see that leader on the assist come from the attack spot, from that quarterback type player.
High on the restart, moves to Felice. Great first quarter. Good end-to-end action. Score tied at 3. National championship game for Division III. Matt O'Connell behind the net. Heath couldn't handle the pass, it's loose. Cortland comes free with possession. Heath again. Reverses field, the wraparound shot. Hits Zarchin and the side of the net.
It's also an interesting matchup here. Matt O'Connell, Conference Player of the Year for Cortland. He's being guarded by a short stick right now. And Chris Skrita. So we'll see if O'Connell takes advantage of that matchup.
O'Connell leads the team in assists. Another midfielder leading his team in assists. Typically the attackman, one of the 3, is your assist guy. But both these teams get their helpers from the midfield. Heath has his man hung up, unable to take advantage. So now he'll spin it up top. And O'Connell will work from the left side. As he said, guarded by a short stick.
Normally, if you're the Conference Player of the Year at midfield, you'll get all the attraction of that long pole.
Flag comes out as the ball trickles into the crease.
Hold! Go, 29! Hold! 30! Red, side right.
It's a hold on Skrita.
Skrita gets called for the hold. But what's interesting is O'Connell. One time I saw him run back to the defensive end. It looks like he's a little sluggish today. A little slow of foot. He might have an injury. Right now I don't see that pep in his step that he normally plays with.
Our first look at the Cortland man advantage team. They score at a 41% clip. Very good, went up a man.
like they're shutting off number 11. Mike Abbott, we talked about how much attention he garners. That should open up another opportunity. It's easier to go man up 5-on-4 than 6-on-5. So Cortland really has to take advantage.
O'Connell, nice feed to Felice, who scores. Great vision from the freshman O'Connell, finding the junior Felice. And Cortland in front again in this back-and-forth contest, 4-3.
You see right here, things are opened up because Salisbury decides to shut off Abbott. Very difficult to play 5-on-4. You're in that defensive box area, so the inside is open. You have 4 defensemen squared up. It leaves the inside open. That is because they're shutting off Mike Abbott. So the other players have to step up, and in that case, they did.
Goal number 2 for the captain, Felice, who's an excellent outside shooter. Procedure call against Cortland on the ensuing faceoff gives it to Salisbury. And the Seagulls can settle into their offense. Not that run and gun style we've seen from Salisbury in the past so far. They've had their moments when they've got up and down the field. Very deliberate offensively right now, trailing by 1. Cortland has not backed down despite playing against the 3-time defending national champion Salisbury Seagull. Salisbury, a 69-game winning streak, also riding on this one.
Salisbury really protecting that inside because of Dan Boyer, the fantastic finisher. So the outside threats really need to step up for the Seagulls.
Berkman made a nifty fake, but then threw it away on the sideline, giving it back to Cortland. And you see down in your screen the box.
A lot of action inside and out of that box. The penalty box, but probably even more important, is the substitution. How quickly can you get those defensive midfielders on the field and your offensive midfielders? Substitutions critical in a game of this magnitude.
Also critical in a game of this magnitude, not turning the ball over. Cortland gives it right back to Salisbury. CSTV has more action for the men's lacrosse championships going on in Philadelphia today. Coming up at 5:30, the Division II men's finals between Dowling and Lemoyne. Lemoyne trying to win their 2nd national title in 3 years. It's the D2 men's lacrosse championship only on CSTV Championship Central. Paul, Eric, and I will have the coverage of that game as well. That's another great matchup here on this afternoon of wall-to-wall lacrosse coverage on CSTV. It's fun to watch national championship games, so stick with us for this one and for the D2 game. Nice defense in front of the net as the shot was tipped to the ground and scooped up by Salisbury. They keep possession.
Dasslinger, number 40 for the Seagulls. Taking a lot of shots in this first half. Really getting those opportunities. Those 2 quick goals for Dasslinger. The confidence builds.
Interior pass, jump shot by Rhodey, wide. Backed up by the Seagulls. They maintain possession. A look at the numbers on the bottom of your screen.
2 teams right now really pressing. The shots on goal, really close in the face-offs. In a 1-goal game, you'll see these numbers so close. Cortland the slight edge on the saves and the ground balls, everything within 1 or 2.
Dassinger with the ball, he's been hot this afternoon. Pair of goals for Salisbury. He'll back it outside, take it now inside. Goes by his man on the right, takes a shot, easy save, that time for Gable. And he'll take it behind the net. Cortland will try to clear. Hasn't been easy so far this afternoon, but this time they're able to bring it across midfield.
Dasslinger on that last play actually stopped his movement. When you're shooting on the run, you really want to continue that same pace. Gives the defender time to catch up, get in your hands, and the goaltender gets a better look at that shot and where it's coming from. As a midfielder sweeping, do not stop your feet there. Dasslinger did that.
I believe an offsides call gives it back to Salisbury. Saw the coaching staff for Cortland a little confused as to what the call was. Could hear the official. All the officials mic'd here this afternoon on CSTV. Nice interior pass, couple of fakes and a score.
All right, 15 for yourself.
Jimmy Creighton, a series of fakes right on the doorstep. Salisbury's tied it again, it's 4-all.
Game's all tied up. There's the man right there that makes it happen. Kyler Berkman, we talked about his distribution right there, breaks the defense down, spots Jimmy Creighton. Creighton with the fake, did an outstanding job of having Gable bite to that far side. Just stuck it in there. Creighton, he's used to this stage. 2 huge fourth quarter goals last year in the national championship game.
The senior with a great deal of experience. His first 3 years have resulted in 3 national championships. I'd say that's not bad. He's playing for a 4th right now. He has a goal and 2 assists this afternoon. Cortland does get it back, however, after the faceoff. Every time Salisbury is tied it seems like Cortland comes back relatively quickly and takes the lead again.
We're in for a great matchup here between 2 squads that have had special seasons this year.
Semensky circling, spinning, shooting. Rolls out of bounds. Backed up by the Red Dragons. They'll maintain possession starting from the deep corner.
No angle for Semensky on that last dodge. He came out shooting right-handed as he came from the roll dodge.
Heath will restart. He's an excellent ball hander. He carried the ball when under pressure. Doing that now, bringing it out in front, wants to shoot. Shut down from his angle by Chris Heyer. Nice defense as Heyer makes the strip. And Demunda has possession. Sheridan brings it across midfield for Salisbury. Now they can set up their offense. Sheridan, a senior. He gets it quickly to Rhodey, and now Salisbury can settle into their offensive set. They get their defensive midfield off, their offensive midfield on. And will attempt to take the lead here midway through a second quarter. That's been very exciting, as has the first quarter. A lot of people perhaps expected Salisbury, with their experience, their winning streak, their national championship winning streak, to come out and bowl over Cortland. The Red Dragons have held strong. That shot rips off the post and goes out of bounds. Backed up by the Seagulls, they keep it.
Gable will be tested all afternoon by this Salisbury offense. A team that really holds nothing back in the transition game and in the settled 6-on-6. Tons of shots.
No cutter that time, as Creighton was looking for his 3rd assist of the game, but no one went to the net, so Creighton retreats directly behind the cage.
This is where Berkman is so effective. Played a lot of attack in high school, so he's accustomed to being behind the cage.
Berkman, nice pass and a nice goal! Mike Edwards somehow tapped that in. The pass didn't have enough steam on it. It bounced in front of Gable. He let it go past him, and leaning into the crease, Edwards tapped it home like a hockey player.
Berkman knew where it had to go. Like you said, Jason, just not enough steam. But that cross crease, that's where the hole is in the defense. The hole was so big that Edwards was still able to get the ball and the shot. The little one-timer, heads-up play by Edwards.
An acrobatic goal as Edwards managed to keep his feet outside of the crease, played the bounce, and tapped it out of midair hockey style. Cortland gets the face-off. Here come the Red Dragons. Shot over the net, out of bounds, backed up by Cortland. They keep it. Felice issued the shot. The lead, the first for Salisbury. They're up 1, 5-4 over Cortland. Midway through the second quarter of this Division III National Championship game. Jason Chandler, Paul Carcaterra, and Eric Freed. Glad to be with you here providing championship coverage on college sports television all afternoon long here in Philadelphia. Nice defense. Salisbury, they're in transition. This is when they're dangerous. Seagulls like to run. Bouncer goes wide of the net. Didn't get it on Cable. Gonzalez the shot.
See the substitutions after that settled play, after transition, you'll see that box is very active. The offensive midfielders will get on for Salisbury. The defensive midfielders will get on for Cortland.
Well, head coach Rich Barnes, perhaps feeling his team is reeling a little bit, decides to call timeout. We'll take it with him. 5-4 Salisbury.
Americans card, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got your card.
Okay, Matt O'Connell for Cortland. He's, the conference player of the year.
Yeah.
I think he's hurt. He's really limping around. If you might be able to get a better look at it when he comes in and out of the box.
Okay.
Number 15. He looks like he's hobbling.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll check.
Welcome back, everyone. Salisbury in front of Cortland, 5-4 to the Division III Men's National Championship game on CSTV. Time now for our U.S. Lacrosse Call to Action with over 180,000 members. U.S. Lacrosse is the national governing body of the sport of lacrosse. To learn more or to join, visit www.uslacrosse.org. Let's take a look now at the last goal for Salisbury, giving them their first lead of the game, Paul.
Starts with Berkman, the freshman midfielder. Like I mentioned, has a lot of attack experience in high school. And Edwards, what a heads-up play by the midfielder there, just to sneak that shot in.
So Cortland called timeout to set up its defense after Salisbury has scored 2 straight to take their first lead of the contest. Coach Barnes trying to slow the momentum a little bit. He knows how dangerous and how explosive this Salisbury team can be. Salisbury crowd on Gable, the goaltender. A big crowd at that, too. Both schools well represented here this afternoon.
Keep it in!
You hear the officials telling Salisbury to keep it in.
Keep it in!
You don't really expect to hear that against this Salisbury run and gun style team. They're taking their time here right now. Berkman backs his man in. Up top, Rohde winds, fires, save, Gable. Flag comes out.
We're gonna go.
As Rohde was decked after the shot.
4-0. Illegal check is late. Hey, go it. Over here. Tell me what he got, a minute? Yeah. 40. 1 minute. Right here, goal. Hey, red! Red! Goalie, right side, your man down for a minute. Right side.
So the penalty on
Come to me.
Cortland.
Here you go.
Jim Breyer whistled for the illegal check. An elbow.
Legal body check by Breyer. That'll cost him a minute. For an extra man opportunity for Salisbury. Look for them really to focus on Dan Boyer inside. Potentially getting some outside looks here for the Seagulls.
Here's an outside look at a goal for Jimmy Creighton. Score it from the left wing. And Salisbury scored 3 straight. They're up by a pair, 6-4, with 5:02 to go in the first half.
If you cover that inside so tight, you have to be a shooting threat from the outside, and Creighton is. You're really putting a lot of pressure on your goaltender when you slough in that much on the inside. You see all those Cortland defenders freeze up Creighton from the outside and just sticks it. Stick side on Gable, putting the pressure on the senior netminder. to really make those outside saves.
Creighton the goal, Berkman the assist. Cortland wins the faceoff, however. Big possession here if you're the Red Dragons. Seagulls have scored 3 in a row.
He was in the box! Red calls timeout. Timeout, Red.
And Cortland calls timeout. They want to talk things over. Obviously, a very important possession here with 4:50 to go in the second. Salisbury in the midst of a 3-0 run, Paul. What does Coach Barnes need to tell his Red Dragons here to try to stem the tide a little bit, get a point on the board?
He doesn't want to let this game get away, so settle your troops. Really get a good offensive touch here with a high percentage shot. Let everyone get into that offense and run your offense with your key guys. Your guys like Abbott and O'Connell and Zeminski. Really getting their touches and putting in your top players' hands right here. Get some clock off here. Settle the troops.
6-4, Salisbury in front of Cortland. There you see the Salisbury Seagulls. Their road to Philly goes like this. A win over Denison, 5 big goals for Rhodey in that one. 8-4 win over Washington. Berkman had 2 and 2. And Wesleyan dropped the 13-12 overtime decision with Creighton getting the game winner for Salisbury. Let's visit now with the third member of our broadcast team, Eric Freed. Eric.
All right, guys, I've been keeping an eye on a couple of players here in the sidelines. Matt O'Connell, number 15, he just seems to be moving a little slowly, taking his seat right now. No report from the Cortland people. I will say, though, it's very warm down here. A lot of Cortland guys have been taking the opportunity, hydrate a little bit. They're getting cooled down with some cold towels a little bit. That could be part of the fact that we'll talk to Rich Barnes about it halftime. Other side for Salisbury, Mike Hurley went down with that knee injury early in the ball game. He's got an ice pack on that right knee. It's a right knee injury. He is on crutches. So that's the update here from the sidelines.
Does not look as if he will be returning to the game. A tough loss for Salisbury, losing Hurley with that whack to the knee.
But both of these teams were tested in their semifinal matchups. Cortland had a win in overtime at Wesleyan. Salisbury was really testing that 13-12 win over Roanoke. Roanoke was a team in that South bracket that really looked to be a threat.
So Cortland will take it out of the timeout. Coach Barnes wanted to slow things down, somehow stop this Salisbury run. Very important juncture of the game for the Cortland Red Dragons. Abbott, stripped from behind, gets the ground ball back. Harassed by Demunda.
Abbott had the separation, but he was trailed, checked because he hung his stick. Saw a stick was behind him. Demunda did a nice job of going over the top.
Zeminski, a couple of stutter step moves, scored the first goal of the game, scored the game winner in the semis. Abbott fakes it, takes it, and scores! The underhanded shot in the top right corner. A pretty goal for Abbott. And Cortland draws to within 1 at 6-5, Salisbury.
Number 11, you're looking at a prime-time player. A guy that will have an opportunity to play professionally in the Major League Lacrosse. Mike Abbott, what a rip. Look here, starts lefty. Little swim move right there, puts it in front. Stings it low to high. He has Zarchin right there, low because his stick's low, but he stings it high. What an outstanding shot. Look at that swim move right there. Dink.
Familiar with the national championship game, 1-1 with Virginia in 2003. Now he's back once again. Lowe's playing in those national championship games. Salisbury in transition. Rhodey stuffed by Gable. Great save by the Cortland defender. Here comes Cortland back the other way.
Ben Gable, what a stop. Your team just gets a huge goal. You close the door on the other side. What a save. Could be a big difference in this first half, that save right there. Salisbury looked like they had the answer to the Abbott goal, but Gable stonewalled Rhodey.
Cortland had gone 8.5 plus minutes without scoring a goal before they got number 5. Making the save by Gable all the bigger. Now the Red Dragons can settle into their offensive set and attempt to tie this game. Cortland led throughout the entire first quarter, most of the second. Salisbury went on a 3-0 run. Cortland has just scored one. They're looking to add more. Sarchin makes the save. The backhanded attempt goes wide, out of bounds, backed up by Felice, and Cortland will keep it. It was Atkins with the fancy shot.
Great call by the official, too, to call it a shot. That Atkins there looked like a shovel shot. The Cortland attackman, Felice, what an outstanding job he does to hustle, to get the ball closest to the end line or the sideline. When the ball goes out of bounds on a shot, the team that gets possession.
Goes to goal, goes to goal.
Wow, delay a game on
Yeah, it was over the corner.
Cortland right there. Looks like a little late substitution. They weren't able to get their 6 offensive players on the field. You look at Coach Barnes there, disgusted.
Rhodey in front. Again, Gable turns him aside. That's twice that Gable has blanked Rhodey in tight. And Cortland attempts to clear and will do so. So 2 times in a row, Rhodey has gone in virtually untouched. 2 times in a row, denied by Gable. Cortland stripped from behind, however, by Salisbury. And the Seagulls get it right back. Save number 8 on the afternoon for Gable. Some sloppy play by both teams as Gable will try to settle things down. Now we're getting the track meet we expected, although not quite as crisp, perhaps, as we maybe expected. Cortland threw it away momentarily. Semensky couldn't handle it. The pass by Lambert. Semensky checked hard by Heyer. Crowd wanted a flag. Semensky took his glove off, put it back on. Now he'll drive to the net. Nothing doing there as he's getting whacked around. Pass in front. Heath, the one-timer, he scores. Ryan Heath ties it at 6 with a $1:32 to go in the second.
This one has the makings of a classic. Up and down play, and Heath finishes. The one-time shot by Felice. Great vision by Felice right there. He spots Heath scraping off that backside. But give the credit to Ben Gable. Gable bails out the Cortland team on that late substitution penalty. It's delay a game. He stopped the Salisbury run there, and then one time after that, he closed the door, giving his team another offensive opportunity that they needed.
For the 5th time this afternoon, we're all tied up. It's 6-6. Salisbury, Cortland playing for the Division III National Championship. Salisbury back the other way. Gable can't stop it this time. Kyler Berkman in tight. Or check it, Boyer. And Salisbury comes right back. They score the go-ahead, 7-6 with 1:13 to go.
And right here, transition lacrosse, draw and dump. You want to have the defense commit to you and then dump it off. And you dump it off to no one better inside than Dan Boyer, 67th of the season right there. The draw and dump, you see here, the one-time pass to Boyer. You get the defense to commit right there, and Boyer just cans it.
Jim Berkman called him the best finisher in the country. Said he scores a lot of big goals. Any goal in a national championship game is a big one. And he gives his team a 7-6 lead. Salisbury wins the faceoff. They lose the ball, however. Still loose. Can Cortland get it? Yes, they can. Sloppy play in their defensive end. Felice picks it up for Cortland. A mental mistake for Salisbury.
If you're Cortland right now, recognize the clock, 45 seconds. Make sure you work your offense, you get that good shot. You do not want Salisbury to have another scoring opportunity. Waste a few minutes here, or a few seconds rather, and get that last shot of the first half.
We're approaching 25 seconds.
At about 15 seconds is the green light.
Behind the back shot is deflected before it can reach Sarchin. It's loose. Push on Cortland gives it to Salisbury. They have 16 seconds to work with and the length of the field to go.
Look at the box right there. You see the offensive midfielders from Salisbury coming on. And with 10 seconds left, if they press, they'll still get that shot. That's why Cortland probably should have wasted a few more seconds.
4 seconds to go. Can Salisbury get a final shot? No, they will not. The centering pass is knocked to the ground, and that is the way the first half will end. A great half. Salisbury will head to the locker room up 7-6. A competitive first and second quarter. Coming up at the half, we'll have a men's Division I lacrosse championship preview. Can Northwestern repeat